Hi, welcome to MathomBooks. Tezi and I saw The Force Awakens opening day. Right now we have this awesome conversation with Jeremy Cremer, a big Star Wars fan who also saw it opening day. We are going to talk everything Star Wars. I'm going to tell you right now, we talk about a ton of spoilers, so if you have not seen the film, watch this with caution.
Let's talk about, Jeremy, what worked. I do really enjoy the droid interaction in the trilogy. I love the C-3PO stuff and the R2-D2 and how they interact together, as well as how they interact with humans. I like it. I guess I've always been kind of drawn to it. To me, they're kind of like the pets, if you will, of the Star Wars world. And I feel that they had to have BB-8 in there because, to me, that is part of the Star Wars world. The Star Wars world is, you have droids, and they're all different, but you can talk to them. And some of them are very anthropomorphic, have a lot of human qualities. And I like that. I guess I just like that. And I felt that BB-8, one, I'm impressed by the technology. I love it. I love that there are real BB-8s that roll around, the head stays on top. It blows me away.
Yeah, I like that too.
I like that. I just like, I've always loved R2-D2. I'm a big fan of R2-D2. And the way that a good movie maker can bring a trash can of bolts to life via sound effects, really. You're hearing the way it talks, and it gives us this heart, for this thing, this droid. So I don't know. So personally, I am a fan of that, and I feel that if J.J. Abrams had tried to do a droid-free, or even just kind of keeping out the main droids, I would have felt something was missing. It would have felt less Star Wars-y to me, personally.
Yeah, I would have felt like that too, but I think that's probably what the problem is, actually. Because, there's these certain things that we just know are going to happen, and if
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I might have been like, it's missing something if they didn't have 3PO and R2-D2. I probably would have done that. But at the same time, I am just always kind of, I really want them to do something just different. I don't know.
You want to see them push the art form in a sense.
Yeah, I want some of that time that they did with the droids. I don't want it to feel like a necessity.
Yeah.
Because that's what it feels like to me when they show it. I'm like, okay, this kind of has to happen,
Right.
It's not. Yeah, I would, and what I would like in place of that is maybe just more of the story going on.
Sure.
I guess so. Because the more that they do the droid stuff, I start to feel like it is a necessity, and I'm like, well, it was in the earlier ones, but does that mean necessarily that they have to be around in this one? Like, are they that relevant to the story? And whenever I think of it that way, no, they're not really that relevant.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that he was the reason why, like, he had the map.
Right.
Whenever I think of how that's relevant, I don't think that it necessarily needed to be, because they did that in A New Hope.
Right.
But, I still like the movie.
Sure. Yeah, no, I hear you. So, Tez, talk to us, like, from your perspective, like, what was it about BB-8? What did BB-8 bring to the film that helped you, or why you liked it so much?
I don't know. I just thought he was cool. I thought he was cute. I'm saying he. I don't know. And that kind of gave Rey. Well, I think of BB-8 as Rey's companion, I guess.
Yeah.
Which I liked, and then too, just that like it feels like Star Wars to have a droid with the good guys, with the people.
Right.
Obviously.
Rey.
Wait, was it?
That's Rey.
Wait, what's that, Jeremy? It was kind of breaking up a little bit. Say what you said again.
I was just saying that I'm still having to remember which one's Rey.
Oh,
the girl,
right. Yeah. Rey's the girl. Right.
The short name thing.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I feel,
Oh, sorry.
Oh, good.
Just, I was gonna say the emotional connection to him too, where I felt like I liked him, like he was a little person or something, and like, yeah.
Well, I think
kind of what
he
you were
is.
saying before, kind of like a pet,
right,
that you love.
Right. See, and I think that's, for me, Jeremy, kind of from that filmmaker perspective, that's what I feel the droids do. I think they because for me, I'm big on characterization. To me, what makes a good movie, at least a big part of it, is do I care about the characters? And do the characters care about each other? That's a big one for me personally. And the BB-8s, the R2-D2s, the C-3POs, I'm glad you gave me this idea, Tezi. It's the good guys that care for their droids. If you remember, there's certain scenes. Luke says one time about R2-D2, he's asked, "Hey, do you want to get a new? We can get you a brand new R2 unit." And Luke's response is something like, "I wouldn't trade that R2 unit for the world."
Yeah.
That says a lot about Luke, which we come to find out later. Luke's loyal. He's compassionate. He appreciates loyalty as well, and he's not just going, "Oh yeah, give me a new R2 unit," which is something that the Empire would do. If this R2 unit's not working well, give me a new one. They don't have any connection to their droids. And so I think that's what helps give us that connection of, oh, this is a person that values that humanity. Because I think that droids are little people, and I think that the good guys in Star Wars movies see them as people. I really do. Even Poe, right? At the beginning, Jeremy, I'm doing the same thing. The fighter pilot, he says to BB-8, he's all, "I'll come back for you.
It'll be okay.
It'll be okay." And it's like, to me, that says a lot about that character. Yeah. He's not, "Here, this is your mission, BB-8. Go. Do your mission. Go." He's like, "I'm gonna come back. I care about you." And that tells me more about Poe even than it does about BB-8, but BB-8's the vehicle by which we get that characterization of Poe. And to me, that's important, and I guess that's the best way I can explain why I like it so much. Your thoughts, Jeremy, you want to close us out on the droids part?
I always thought that it was cool that the droids played that kind of a role, or just the machines played that kind of a role in the Star Wars trilogies and stuff like that, because normally it's the other way around. It's the robots controlling us or something like that.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
yeah,
and
very cool.
There's a companionship there, so yeah.
Right.
I liked Rey a lot.
Yeah, talk about Rey.
Yeah, I guess I felt like she was very real. Like she could feel like the Force, but at the same time, there's that part where she's like, "No, I'm never gonna touch it. I don't want any part of it," because she's fearful and because of the things she saw that she doesn't. I guess that she's afraid of, that she doesn't want to be a part of, and that are dark, and also because she wants to go back to where she thinks her family's gonna come and all that, and she wasn't just like, "Oh yeah, the Force is calling me, I'm gonna do it no matter what," or super psyched about it just because it's a cool thing. There was kind of a bit of
a lot of conflict.
Yeah. But then she was a strong character, and she did come through and start using it, and you can see her. She's kind of experimenting with it, starting to believe in herself, I guess, and in the Force. And I thought that development was cool.
Jeremy, I'm going to let you talk, but because I just want to say I agree with everything she said. I felt that those moments with Rey, coming to see how she was taking on Kylo Ren, who, he was a pretty serious dude with some power. And when those moments when she was fighting back, I thought they were well done, and I didn't feel that they were forced. I was afraid that it was going to be here's our powerful woman for you feminists out there, and for we're politically correct, we've got our strong woman character. I never felt that, and I was really glad, because that would have been so easy to do, to give us a strong female character just by having her kick some. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. She was strong, but in such a realistic way, and I felt she was also weak. She showed a lot of vulnerability, and so for me, that was definitely one of the strong points. I'm a big fan of Rey right now. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I like that too. They made her so she's not perfect. Right. I like that part. I always relate to the characters that are not perfect because it feels more human.
Sure, exactly. Yeah.
So I definitely like that. I also like the Poe and Finn characters, how they got. That was really exciting and stuff like that. I wish they had more time together.
Yeah.
I do feel like whenever the older characters got involved, that it felt almost like a different movie than what it started off being, in a way, because then you broke those guys up. So hopefully we get to see more of them next time.
Yeah, I agree. I really liked both of them, and I would love to see more. Actually, Tezi and I were kind of speculating after the film, talking about, she was saying she wants Finn to become she wants Poe to become the pilot of the Millennium Falcon. Now that we lost her.
Yeah.
I'm saying it. Now that we lost Han.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. Spoiler alert. You know what? Let's do it. Let's jump right there, Jeremy. I'll let you have the first word. I want you to talk about it first. Talk about Han Solo and what happened in this film, and your thoughts on all that.
Well, yeah, I felt really sad whenever I could kind of see it happening whenever he started walking out on the little platform. And I'm like, oh no, I'm sure they're gonna do it.
Did you really? You kind of knew?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, that's so interesting. See, Jeremy, you just must have a forward-thinking approach. I was not thinking about it at all. I did not think they would do it. But go on. Go. I don't want to stop you. Keep going.
I was thinking, whenever when Kylo took off his mask, I was like, oh, they're probably gonna have a little father-to-son moment here, and then since he's dark side, it's gonna turn. Yeah, I think I predicted that, but yeah, I cried during that part.
Wow.
It's Han dying.
Yeah. See, that's so interesting, Jeremy. I'm like, it's fascinating to me that you knew it was going to happen in a sense, but yet you still had that emotional connection. That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that was probably like the most emotional part. And then there's this dude behind me that just like completely freaked out when Han died. When the saber went through him, and it showed it.
Yeah.
Behind him, this guy just was like, "Oh!" Felt it, and he like threw his popcorn everywhere.
Oh my gosh!
So, it was kind of like I was already crying, but I wanted to cry even more at that part, but I couldn't because
he kind of killed the moment.
It was raining popcorn.
Oh my gosh, Jeremy!
But yeah, no, that was pretty cool. I thought that was a good part. Yeah, it made me sad. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so that's a success for me. Whenever a film is able to affect my emotions, literally change something within me to where I'm, choked up or tearing up, that's a successful moment in a film. I agree. Tezi, you also thought it was pretty powerful.
Yes, that was very... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, the lagging. I do wish that they would have had more moments between Han and Ren. I think at least maybe one more moment would have made me feel a little more, what's the right word?
Attached.
Like
attached.
Yeah, to their relationship at least. If they had maybe one before that happened.
Right. Right. I was thinking like maybe even like a flashback or something would have been interesting.
He's talking to Han. Han doesn't have the Force, but he does, so maybe he can talk to him in some way, maybe.
Right. Right.
Or he's talking to Leia in his head about hating Han. I don't know.
Sure. Right. But I know what you're saying. So a little bit more there. I would have liked more between them as well. And yeah, I think it would have definitely, helped. I'm never going to say no to characterization, right? If it's well done, that would have been great. But as it stands, the way that it actually is in the film, I could not. It affected me emotionally. But what got me more, Jeremy, and I told this to Tezi as well earlier. It was sad that Han died. Don't get me wrong, and it was powerful. It was a really good moment in the movie, in a bad way. What really got me was a couple scenes later. They showed Chewie in the Millennium Falcon with his head kind of down, looking all set, and like that I started tearing up right there because I was like, Chewbacca, they're like the best of friends, like blood brothers, who've been together, I think, for 30 some years, 40, I don't even know, whatever. And I was like, think about how lonely Chewbacca's going to be. And I just thought that was really well done. It was just, I don't think they were pushing it in our face. They just showed Chewbacca. It was maybe it was more me, how I reacted to it, but I really thought that was powerful. And then see how they bring it around I didn't expect this either, that Rey would end up flying with Chewbacca. Like, he's got a buddy again, maybe. I don't know. To me, I needed that. I needed that closure a little bit, and it was there, and it helped a lot. You
said it. The scene earlier when Chewie gets hit with one of the blasters, it hits him in his arm or something like that.
Yes.
Trying to put bandages on it, and he's like, "Oh!" I thought that was very Star Wars-like.
Right.
That whole scene, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, absolutely. Chewie got some more time, I think. He was a real secondary character a lot. If you really look at those other films, I thought it was interesting. He played a good role, and I don't know. I definitely like the emotional elements. Do you think that we will see Han Solo again?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, the thought just kind of crossed my mind right now, is because I can imagine a scenario.
I'm thinking of it like maybe in like little ways, like we won't actually see him back, but maybe there'll be a reference or something,
Right. Because think about it, that'll be a Star Wars film without Han Solo, right? And so it's almost like, you know what I mean? But because how people they're creative that way. They could find old, hollow nets, as they're called in Star Wars, like recordings maybe.
Sure.
You might find, who knows? See, that's what I'm not so sure. I'm thinking out loud here. Would I want to see Han? Of course, but I don't want it to be cheesy. I don't want to see Han just to see Han.
Just because they can bring him back.
Exactly. I want it if it's meaningful and if it's a real serious part of the story. That would be awesome. Kind of like when Obi-Wan comes back and talks to Luke.
Oh yeah. I think for sure if Kylo Ren ends up turning to the good side or something like that were to happen, I'm sure he's going to be regretful. I'm sure we'll get all of that of him being regretful to kill his own dad. Which is kind of like that's something that they've set up. I guess that's my future prediction, is that he's gonna either he'll turn or he'll have some moment where he's like, "Oh, why did I do that?"
Right. Absolutely. That would be pretty wild. Wes, any thoughts on the Han thing any further anymore?
I was very upset. I definitely was crying.
She was like, "You can't have Star Wars without Han."
Yeah, I was very sad. And I think I said I don't want a Star Wars movie without Han Solo.
Right.
But yeah, and I mean, I think the scene, it was definitely well done. Like, you can see how Han, like, it's his son and he cares about him, even though we don't see their relationship a lot. We just see it right there, and you can tell because Han and stuff. And I was like really, really hoping that Kylo Ren would turn and go with him and everything, but I didn't think he would. Like, I didn't really trust him, in that moment. So I think I could, I was scared for Han, but I didn't actually think that he was actually going to die. So,
yeah. Whenever on the platform and they're just talking and Han gets closer, there was for me, there was this impending darkness that just started. And I was like, oh man, no. And the more and more that kind of seemed getting closer to him, and what's the word? The more sincere his voice got, I was no, what's happening? It darker. It started getting darker in the theater.
Right.
So.
See,
really quiet though.
I bet. That's interesting. I'm actually I kind of wish now that Tezi and I could have seen the film with a more, not an audience like, where they're ruining things, but a more, because I do like some of that energy that comes from not a wild audience, I'm keep misspeaking.
Reactive.
A more involved audience, because I feel that kind of plays into things. It can either help things or hurt things, but because we saw it with the audience was virtually quiet the whole time. Yeah, literally, maybe a couple little things here and there. So I'd be curious to have the experience of, like you did, a little more, and kind of compare how it affects us with relation to the film. So we talked about Han. That's a big one.
The audience. That was another thing that was like on my mind the whole time whenever I was watching the movie. 'Cause it wasn't. I think I'll feel better whenever I own it on DVD and I'm watching it, definitely. But it was more kind of like I knew when they were going to get loud at parts, and with also the guy sitting behind me.
Right.
I couldn't just like ignore it, which I'm really good at, just ignoring stupid stuff that bothers me. But I couldn't because the popcorn and everything. So.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting.
So it was just kind of a different feeling.
Sure, absolutely. I know we're supposed to be talking about things we really liked in the film right now, but this is tied to something that I didn't like, and I guess maybe I'll just talk about it. Because I'm curious your thoughts, because you had brought this up earlier, Jeremy, and you talked about those things that are Star Wars, and so the Star Wars, we got to do them. And one of those, I kind of forgot about this earlier, that it was surprised me by how much they redid the trope, is a big giant space station that blows up planets, and we're going to send in X-Wings down a tunnel and shoot in the thing and blow it up. I was just like, go on, talk.
Whenever they blew up, I was like, wait, whoa. Like, I don't know. I don't want to sound like I wasn't paying attention, but I was so into the third act fight scene between Kylo Ren and the group that I was like, when they were showing glimpses of the other thing, I was like, wait, I don't even know what's going on, because it went by so fast, I think.
Sure.
It blew up. I was like, what? Oh. Like, I didn't even get the feel for that. Like, when the Death Star blew up in the first one, and then in Return of the Jedi, you're, like, all into it, and you're like, oh, I can't wait to see it blow up, because I hate
Right.
These are the bad guys. I love to hate them. And then the planet blew up, and I was like, how did they take out this big, giant thing that's, like, 20,000 times greater than a Death Star by... I didn't even... When they showed them blowing stuff up on the inside, I didn't really know what they were aiming for, like you did in the New Hope.
It was much less clear. Yeah.
And you're like kind of in the cockpit with him and stuff like that. In this one, you're like in everybody's cockpit, and you're just seeing a bunch of stuff blowing up. And I mean, I don't think it was that bad, but I was a little surprised by the whole thing blowing up. That kind of made me not really. I didn't feel like that kind of wanting to like the bad guys like I did in A New Hope. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely. No, yeah, I agree. Go ahead.
I like the balance between, because something I was talking to Shawnee about was how the older ones, they do a good balance of you get your time with the good guys, and then you go back to the Star Destroyer, and it shows what Darth Vader is doing, and it gives you a chance to like the bad guys as much, or I do. I like the bad guys as much as I do with the good guys, because you get the different times with them.
Right.
I thought that we did a good job at kind of remembering that that's how you how you can do it.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. They did a really good job. In fact, I was impressed by how much they did spend with Kylo Ren. I was surprised. We saw a lot. We learned a lot about Kylo Ren. His temper tantrums. His anger issues. That was interesting. His own self-doubt and all that. That was interesting. And I were talking the battles and stuff. That I thought that was very well done. I agree. I liked how they did balance. It seemed quite well between the two. the the planet, whatever, the planet destroyer. What was it even called? The weapon, you know? What is it?
The Star Killer.
Yeah, Star Killer. It was it really, by the way? Was that what it was called? Yeah. When that was all happening, I very similar to what you said, Jeremy. I was just kind of like, for example, when they were planning it, they were all around the hologram talking about it, and Han's like, "Yeah, well, we have to blow up the energy field, and then we gotta do this." And I'm thinking, I honestly thought for a second that they were gonna be like, "Yeah, no, this is not how it works," and then have a totally different plan, because that's exactly the plot from A New Hope and basically by and large from Return of the Jedi. And I just felt it didn't have to be done again. You don't need another Death Star. It's bigger, big deal. And like you said, Jeremy, it was unrealistic to me that these little X-Wing fighters blowing up this little circular area, I don't care how many bombs you put there, this thing's the size of a planet. And it's absorbing energy from the sun. It's going to be able to handle reactions, nuclear reactions. What are some bombs going to do on the surface? It's not going to blow up a planet. So that was a letdown for me. Go ahead.
Memorable scenes in that part, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think it probably means more to us because we remember the Death Star blowing up, and that's like a really memorable thing.
Right.
The giant planet, it's like, it looks cool, like the Death Star, and it's intimidating, and its power
Right. Absolutely.
You were kind of like, wait, so there's not going to be like that big moment like we had in A New Hope,
Right. Right. What to remind you guys, obviously that wasn't my lowest point. I still stand by, for me, the point where I was least satisfied with the film was that dumb alien fight battle sequence in the middle. The reason I was able to be okay enough with the Star Killer big large base thing is I guess I just gave him a pass. I was like, okay, there's a new Death Star. I'm just going to accept it. And that's kind of what I did, I think, and I was okay with that. But yeah, that's it. The film, I would just wish it would have gone in a different direction than redoing that.
It comes with the territory. I mean, we saw A New Hope, and I think all those movies have really memorable third acts.
Yeah.
Not to say that this one isn't memorable, but I remember when it came time for big things blowing up, that you had more. There was more like space to breathe. I don't know how else to describe it, and I'll probably think about better things to say once I see it again.
Right. But yeah, for me, what saved it is that to me, the blowing up of the space station was not the climax of the movie. I felt that the climax was definitely the lightsaber battles going on, and I liked those so much. I was so into those. I thought they were very well done. I think that's probably why I was able to just kind of let that overshadow. Okay, fine. Yeah, they're also blowing up a space station now. Okay, whatever. Cool. I was focused on I wanted to know what's going to happen with Rey. I want to know what's going to happen with Kylo Ren and with Finn. I was invested in those characters. Not to mention, of course, obviously Han and Chewbacca and even Princess Leia. So yeah, I think that's what did it for me. I
was really cheered at that part too. Whenever the planet got blown up, they liked those kind of parts that I was just scenes that for me and other stuff was more important.
Right.
So same feel.
Yeah, exactly. Our battery is getting a little bit low here, Jeremy. So we're going to start moving towards concluding this thing. Let me say, first off, before I do that, thank you for coming on with us. This was super cool. We had a couple of technical difficulties, but no big deal. Hopefully we can just edit that stuff out. love talking Star Wars with you. We should do this more and find other reasons to talk. I do want to talk to you, in terms of you saw the Elizabeth's interview and finding your voice, and you're somebody, with your music and your art. I would love to bring that forward. So we'll get there someday, sooner than later. So I'm excited about that. But so I just want to thank you for coming on with us at last minute notice. This was great. But what I would like to talk about is how the film ended.